Hello and welcome. Today is a continuation of where we left off regarding PowerShell's execution policy. Last time, as you can see here, we discussed the execution policy, set execution policy commandlet, and we delved into the scopes that it could apply to. We focus specifically on local machine, current user and process, and discussed the various options and differences between them. Today we're going to explore another commandlet, and that is the unblock file. We're also going to have deeper look into this functionality to understand a bit more what is behind it. First thing I need to do is to have PowerShell installed. PowerShell comes in version 5, although I am using version 7.1. And if you follow last discussion on this topic, there is an explanation of how to install it. Also, there is a repository. I will share the link to it called PS Hello World, which contains two PowerShell scripts, say Hello World and reblock Hello World. You can download the repository by clicking on download zip. I've already done that, and I've gone one further. I've already opened the zip file itself. So here it is. This is what I have. If I go into my PowerShell and I move to the hello main, which is the repository, and I attempt to execute the PowerShell script, say hello world, I get the message that tells me that since hello world is not digitally signed, it cannot execute. One clarification I would like to make, and this was pointed out last time, is that there is a big difference between safety and security, and I want to highlight this. When attempting to execute the PowerShell script unblocked. On the other hand, if I open the same script I attempted to execute and I take the commandlet from within it, in this particular case there's only one line in my script, and I attempt to execute that, you will see that it executes without any error whatsoever. That's the difference between security and safe. If this were a security feature, it would not allow me to do either one or the other. But as you can see, what is happening here, it's simply blocking execution of downloaded scripts that I have downloaded from the internet in this particular case. Before I continue, I would like to clarify that if you are going to follow my commands on your computer, one thing you need in order to ensure that you get the same results I have is to ensure that on your machine the execution policy matches mine. So as you can see, these we mentioned and discussed last time, everything is undefined except local machine. If yours are different, for example, in your case, local machine is set to execute everything, you would have never gotten the error if, for example, you're using a company machine and your administrator through group policy has adjusted either machine policy or user policy, irrespective of what settings you try to set, you will not be able to execute unless your administrator grants you permission to do so. Having said that, let us refocus on the topic. Say hello world, which was downloaded, cannot be executed. If I right click on the file and I choose properties, you will notice that at the bottom I have security, and I have a statement that says this file came from another computer and might be blocked to help protect your computer. But if I choose unblock and apply that, the script now executes without any problem. If I right click again and choose properties, you will notice that that security wording has disappeared. It is no longer present. Before continuing, I'm going to soon use reblock hello world, and what I did, I've already removed the security check there. So when I execute this command, I'm not going to be blocked because I've done it preemptively. Where do these settings fit and where do these settings fall into place? Let's look at a bit at that area. If you go into Control Panel, Network and Internet Options, and you choose Security, you will notice that I have a number of different zones. Internet, local internet, trusted sites, and restricted sites. Different zones have different settings. If I look at my blog, which I have already written, you will notice that the zones I have shared just now correspond to a particular zone ID. In fact, I have internet, which has a zone ID of 3, restricted sites, a zone ID of 4, trusted sites 2, local intranet 1, and local machine, which has a zone ID of 0. If I have a PowerShell script, I have a Word document. You might recall when sometimes you download a Word document from the internet, it tends to be blocked unless you enable. All of them are sharing the similar controls here. So what I'm saying for PowerShell scripts will apply to other file types you may download. If by mistake I am blocked a file and I would like to reset it back to the setting it had as if I had downloaded it from the internet, what I need to do is to set the zone ID to 3. If I open reblock hello world, and I'm going to edit that, if I look closely at this code, which I borrowed from Stack Overflow, I have set content commandlet, the name of the file, in my case it's a PowerShell script, the stream is zone identifier, and the value is setting the zone transfer to zone ID of 3. Be very careful, because I've read that some people might miss this, is it requires a new line as part of the value string. If I were to apply that line, so if I were to say reblock hello world and I now reattempt to say hello world, you see that again I got the same message, because for all intents and purposes the file has now been reset to a state as if it were downloaded from the internet. How can I adjust it? Well, if I wanted, I could use this command, the set content command, and set a zone ID to 0 or 1 or 2. That is one option I can do. Set that to 1, which changes it to local intranet. I'm going to copy, and now my hello world executed. So that is another way you can reset a file. Let's run hello world to ensure that it's back to zone 3. The third and final method I'm going to describe here is to use the commandlet which is called unblock file. So that is a third alternative you can use. So I would say unblock file, and there you go. I have unblocked the file. This was a relatively short how-to, and I hope that it gave you a bit of depth into how you can manage files, not only PowerShell scripts, but other files that you download from the internet. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you would like to subscribe to new content that I will be producing, hit the subscribe button. And I would like to thank you and hope you stay safe.